101.7 WMBX, the John and Gordy family show on a beautiful, another gorgeous day. But sun is coming up a little bit later now, and the sun is going down a little bit earlier now, and I'm not adjusting well to that.
It's fall. What do you expect?
I know. I should have expected this all along.
It's cold out there today.
It is.
It's in the 40s.
It is.
It's chilly.
It is. We both have, T-shirts and flannels.
Yeah. And
I'm not in the. I didn't get the memo. I didn't wear a flannel today. I'm wearing a sweatshirt.
You got to read your emails. All right. Well, a hoodie's fine. It's very Gen Z. I wear my hoodie now. My kids got me into the hoodie thing. I only have one, but it's pressure.
I don't have
pressure.
I guess I don't have a hoodie. Yeah. You have one?
I have one.
Sam, how many hoodies do you have? Multiple?
I think just this here right now, just this one.
Yeah.
It's funny that you call them a hoodie. To me, even a hooded sweatshirt is still a sweatshirt. I call them all sweatshirts.
I've always called them sweatshirts. I just got onto the hoodie thing recently. Just catching up like 30 years.
We've been talking about people, getting shot in the last 10 years because they had a hoodie on, and now you guys are just learning about hoodies?
What's that about, John?
What?
Am I going to get shot in the street today?
Well,
God, let's hope not.
You look like some kind of vandal in a hoodie. You're walking through somebody's neighborhood in a hoodie. A lot of people have been shot and killed that way.
Man.
So anyway, I got the hoodie, a black one, and it's gorgeous. I just love hoodies. It's a great thing. But the thing is, there's a difference.
What's the difference?
You have a sweatshirtish kind of hoodie, and I don't like pulling stuff over my head.
Oh, you've got to zip up. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like.
Okay, that's the difference.
Yeah, I don't like sweaters, and I don't like.
You've worn that here before, haven't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you need it this morning. It's 49 degrees currently. Yeah,
there you go.
What do you think the high temperature would be today?
I think it's going to be about 55, but let's ask our
computer. Computer, Madison, Wisconsin weather.
The current weather is 42 degrees Fahrenheit with clear
42.
skies. Today, you can expect lots of sun, with a high of 72 degrees and a low of 42 degrees.
72.
Okay.
Wow, we didn't get near there yesterday. All right.
Yeah.
All right, well, okay.
That's close enough.
Is it close?
She's saying 42 this morning. I've got 49. Again, with the morning temperatures, they seem very variable.
What is going on?
What does your watch say?
Well, my watch, it says 43.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
let's look at.
It's in the 40s.
Let's look at Sam. We both turned and looked at Sam, and he's going, huh?
What? You don't have a thermometer.
I'm trying to catch up on my emails, John.
Yeah,
okay.
Yes, I didn't send you any this morning yet. Okay.
It was really windy yesterday.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Windy.
It was.
We were crazy.
Like that.
And I was, I went home and I thought, oh boy, I hope my gazebo is still there. Right?
It's still there, right?
Well, I get out of the garage. I walk into the back. This note is hanging from one of the a part of the gazebo.
Wow.
It says, Gordy, your tent blew into our backyard.
No.
Now I'm going, oh, God. And I'm looking, the tent's right there.
Yeah.
It hasn't moved at all.
Right?
It says, we took our sleeping bags and camped out. Got chilly, started a fire inside the tent. Now there's a hole on top. No worries. Brittany Merlot says no rain in the forecast. It's my neighbors, Al and Mary Lou.
That is
wonderful.
That's wonderful.
They snuck into my backyard and put that note on.
That is great.
I know. I thought, wow. Because by the first line is, your tent blew into our backyard. I thought, oh, God. But it's sitting right here. They took it and they put it back? No. It was never went anywhere.
Yeah. That's fun stuff. Wait till they find out you're going to be the neighborhood's Gladys Kravitz.
Really?
Yeah.
Just bothering them all the time.
Yeah. Peering out your window.
What's going on
Find
over
out
there?
what's going on.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Anyway,
boy.
so that was kind of a fun.
That is great. That is really terrific.
So, yeah.
Anyway.
Man. Hey, let's check the National Day calendar.
All right, let's do that.
Why can't we do that? Yeah. What is it today? What is it today?
What isn't it today?
Well, let's see. We got a lot of them. We'll skim through them here. National Smarties Day. I don't know what that means, but
We'll have to cover
is
that
it
one.
or not? Is it National Walk to School Day? How about National Coffee with a Cop Day or National Pumpkin Seed Day? Could it be National Custodial Workers Recognition Day? National Name Your Car Day? Or National... This is a real one. I can't fake this one. National Produce Misting Day.
Wow.
Or National Random Acts of Poetry Day. Which one of those days does not belong?
Well, it's not National Pumpkin Seed Day.
Actually, it is.
Oh,
It is.
really?
You are wrong. Sam, do you take it?
There were too many. I can't pick one.
Yeah, me either. I didn't even make up a fake day today. So there.
Produce
that makes
Misting
sense.
Day?
Yeah, let's go with that one.
I didn't see that one on the list when I looked, but
It's
what is
there.
that all about?
Well, we're about to tell you.
Well,
here.
somebody is self-important thinks that it should be a day.
National Produce Misting Day recognizes the innovation of keeping fruits and vegetables fresh. Misted fingertips rest assured that produce remains crisp, plump, hydrated, and nutrient dense. Misted fingertips. What?
I don't get that.
Rest assured.
Yeah.
Okay. Given a choice between fresh and tired produce, we choose fresh every time. After all, who wants dried out veggies? So before automatic misting systems, grocers threw away too much dated products. So, somebody had to invent this. No one likes to waste food, especially those in the business. And as a solution, grocers soaked burlap potato sacks in water and laid them over their stock. And then they came up with the misting thing. And that was in 1979, the invention of the misting for produce.
No, I bet it feels
Historic day.
I bet it feels really great to be a vegetable and just get sprayed with that
I know.
mist.
You think so?
That'd just
Oh,
be
yeah.
wonderful. Really. I used to mist my plants in my apartment. It didn't save them, but they felt good dying.
Yeah.
You
think so, huh?
Some of these grocery stores, they do. They mist their vegetables.
Sure.
And I think that's kind of cool, but no one told Woodman's.
Okay.
I don't think
They don't do
ever
that?
misted anything at Woodman's. But the stuff doesn't last long.
Right.
There are a lot of
They
people in
They
there.
get a lot of turnover.
Yeah,
there, so
yeah.
maybe they don't need to. It's National Name Your Car Day. Have you ever named your car?
You know, that was the one that stood out for me.
Yeah.
Naming your car, it's like naming your ship.
Right.
It's like
That's
naming your
right.
boat.
Well, here we
Well,
go.
what the heck?
Well, many
Who does
of
that?
Well, you might likely remember Herbie the Love Bug, right?
Oh, yeah.
Lightning McQueen from Cars. I don't
Okay,
know.
yeah.
Do you remember that
Yeah,
one? Okay.
yeah,
Kit from Knight Rider. That was a big one.
That's right.
General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Mm-hmm.
Bandit from Smokey and the Bandit. Those are some of the famous car names.
Yeah.
So, you can make a day of it, it says here. Take your old jalopy out for a spin, a nice wash and shine, and then
give
just,
it a name.
just give it a name. Yeah. Have you ever named your car? What happened to your car, by the way, Sam? Your
Yeah,
VW Bug. We
You
haven't
had a
seen that
VW.
in
That
months.
thing is trash.
It's a back burner project right now.
Okay.
I'm still looking for an engine.
Really?
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know, that's one of those situations where you see somebody who's accumulated a few vehicles in their front yard,
Yeah.
and they're getting to them. They're,
Yeah.
they're going to fix
Project.
them up.
Trust me, my parents do not want that to happen. I'm
Yeah, I'll
storing
bet.
the car up there right now.
Oh, is that where it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, it's National Coffee with a Cop Day. Where's our coffee guy? This is a
Well,
day.
yeah.
Inspired by the cliche about officers and their coffee shop donuts, the national observance encourages communities to sponsor an event that will bring citizens and those on patrol together.
They're
Some
probably.
coffee.
Anybody want
There
coffee?
he is.
Yeah, he is.
Who wants coffee?
The-
I just made
the
a
policemen
fresh
want
pot of
coffee.
Does anybody want coffee?
Coffee with a Cop Day,
Who wants
buddy.
co- does
Okay,
anybody
there he
want
goes
coffee?
again. Yeah, anyway.
They're probably going to try to cuff him if he goes up to their car.
Somebody does yell, "Call a cop" to him at some point.
Oh.
Right. While many cities and towns across the country hold Coffee with a Cop events, I don't think there's any around here that
Well, we had
know
something
of.
like that with the Dunkin' Donut celebration.
Oh, that's
the roof
right.
celebration.
Yeah. Well, National Coffee with a Cop Day is
Yeah.
today, and you can, maybe if you see a police officer, offer him a cup of coffee.
Throw a cup of coffee in his face and see what happens.
Oh, wow.
No, don't do that.
Be nice.
Don't do that. I love our police officers, especially when they're just sitting there watching me speed by them, and they don't pursue.
They ignore you? Oh, boy.
I caught him surfing the internet at the time, and I'm really happy for the internet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. One more here. National Pumpkin Seed Day.
Yes.
We need a day for pumpkin
Love
seeds, and
pumpkin
that is
seeds.
today. Temperatures are cooling and leaves are turning, so you think about pumpkins. Many of us have fond memories of roasting these delicious nuggets. Oh, pumpkin seeds.
Yes.
Yeah, after carving the jack-o'-lantern.
Yep.
However, we never realized just how good and good for us they are. Surprisingly, pumpkin seeds have been valued for their dietary and medicinal properties for thousands of years. In fact, pumpkin seeds have been traced back as far as 7,000 BC. I love it when they throw out these 7,000 BC.
Yeah.
I mean, really?
No one was there to.
How can we check on that?
But they were
7,000.
healthy back then. That's
not 6,400 BC. It was
Right.
7,000 BC. Yeah.
sounds like a movie.
Yeah, maybe so.
Ringo Starr movie as a caveman.
The Caveman. What a movie
Trying
that
out
was.
his pumpkin
What a
seeds.
horrible movie. 17 minutes past the hour. Do we have any history notes
We got
want
just
to
a
pass
couple
along?
things here. Yeah, today
Okay.
in 1950, the very first Charlie Brown comic strip
Oh.
hit print. And it was before Peanuts got the name Peanuts. The comic strip was called Little Folks at that time.
Yikes.
Okay.
Not a
I
good title.
don't remember
No.
that. Little
Well,
fuck.
Charles Schultz actually hated the name Peanuts.
Did he?
Yeah. I think
Somebody
it was,
else came
It
up?
came from Howdy Doody, I believe, from the Peanut Gallery.
Peanut Gallery,
Howdy
yeah.
Doody. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Today in 1959, The Twilight Zone debuts.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Yeah, Rod Serling. Always had a cigarette
Great
going.
lineup of stars in those episodes,
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
There it is. We could use that mostly for Idiocracy.
Yeah.
The Twilight Zone debuted in 1959. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, one more thing. Today in 1965, Gatorade makes a debut at a Florida Gators game.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Not a health drink by any stretch of the imagination.
I mean,
but,
they thought it was.
Yeah.
Well, they got electrolytes.
And now
in there,
it's like
so-
Pedialyte, right? For
it?
kids, for dehydration. And that's what they use now instead of
Okay.
all these other sports drinks.
Okay. It is 6:18, and we're just getting started on a Wednesday morning. Mike McCabe will be with us later in our next hour. Back with more of the John and Gordy Show on 92.7 WMDX.
You can ask me what's trending. What's trending?
92.7 WMDX. John and Gordy. And a good morning to everyone out there. There are things that are trending out there, and we're just going to cover that right now, right?
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
Before we even get started, we did get a text here, and somebody did name their vehicle.
Yeah,
it says, my 24-year-old Beetle is Buddy.
Buddy.
It's a great name for a car. It really is.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. How's it going? Right? I mean,
Buddy.
it's an easy one.
It is.
But it's so familiar, and it's warm and fuzzy.
Have either of you named your cars?
No.
No?
Can't remember.
Do you ever
naming-
talk to them? Treat them like a person?
No.
Look, I'll give it to you that these older vehicles should get a name. I think, the older vehicles, they meant something to people.
Right.
Nowadays, it's more disposable. We just hope that they don't break down or rust out or something like that. The newer vehicles just don't warm up like the way the old Beetles
Well,
do.
give it time. Eventually, they are going to be old,
Well,
and then we'll be attached to them once again.
But they just don't have that look of a beetle.
They don't have the character.
Yeah, the character.
That they used to have, the styling.
And that's why we liked your car.
Yeah.
If it were any other kind of car, like a Vega or a,
Chevy
or a
Vega.
Gremlin or something like that, no, we wouldn't like
Corvair.
you. We would tell you to go away.
Yeah. So let's see.
I want to throw this out there too. We were talking about the pumpkin seeds and roasting them in the oven,
Right.
which is something that we do every year when we clean out the pumpkins. It's a hell of a job. But the best seeds are from butternut squashes. Those are the juiciest, thickest, best seeds ever to roast.
And what do you do? Just put them on a baking pan and throw them in there with some
you
salt?
do that, or on a parchment paper.
Okay.
And then you sprinkle a little bit of popcorn salt on it. Not much, just a little.
Yeah.
And it really works well.
And
Chef
how long?
Johnny.
How long in the oven there?
Well, it depends. You just have to keep going and going and going until they crunch in your mouth. You just keep sampling.
You have to move them around in there. You have
Yes,
to
you do.
flip them over.
Yeah, eventually you stir them around because the bottom are, they're still wet.
Then what do? You take them out of the oven and put them in a bowl? Or?
Yeah, I don't keep them in the oven. I'm not storing them there. Well,
put them in the bowl and then
I put them in a bowl and we just
put them on the counter there.
We scarf through them.
Do you?
Does anybody use that term anymore? Scarf?
Sure. Can you save them? Do you put them in plastic bags?
Yes, we do. I put them between the pages of a book and then
put them in the freezer.
Just like a leaf.
You freeze them?
No, we don't. Do
I
that.
guess we.
It's good that you're curious.
I'm very curious about. Maybe I'll do that with some squash seeds or pumpkin seeds or whatever.
I would do that.
You
have a nice
mixture of
gas
both.
stove now.
Yeah, I do. Okay. What else is trending today?
All right.
What do we got?
Well, what we have trending is something from Molly Kimmel.
Oh, this is Jimmy Kimmel's wife.
Kimmel's wife, and she produces the show. And she also did the Emmys, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, Trump's ego again exploded over Jimmy Kimmel reading his post during the Emmys. This was a comment recently that he gave at one of his rallies, and Kimmel thought, well, why should I respond? I'm gonna get my wife out here, Molly, and she came out on stage, and let's listen to what Molly said.
It said basically, he is the worst host of the history. He reads the whole thing. And then I think he said something like, ha, 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 he thinks he bothers me or some crap like that. I said, he's one of the dumbest human beings ever. He should have listened to his wife. What a dope.
But since you think my wife gives good advice, maybe here she is with some advice. Molly, please.
Hi, darling. Everybody. Donald, thank you for your support. And I'm glad I have your attention because 1 in 3 women currently in this country is living under an abortion ban because you stacked our Supreme Court. Thanks to you, women in 21 states can't make their own choice about their own life and their own body. And 10 U.S. states make no exceptions for rape or incest. The party you run so bigly and so beautifully, the party that cares so much about motherhood, just blocked a bill that would protect our access to IVF. Women are dying and good doctors are quitting because they can't get or give the reproductive care women desperately need. So my advice for you is to shut up and go away.
Good advice.
Go to Mar-a-Lago. Spend all day, every day, cheating at golf and masturbating to Newsmax and let a competent woman take over. That's my advice. Thanks for listening.
He says the same to me. Thank you, Molly. What's with the trophy?
Oh, this is the Emmy that I won for executive producing the Oscars that were hosted by the worst host in history.
Sweet.
Good for her.
That is very, very sweet. She's
Terrific.
very good, isn't she? I love that. You know, they sold it, and they made a lot of money off the T-shirts that they put out. Isn't it past your jail time? They actually, I mean, that was one of the great lines.
Yeah, that was a Jimmy Kimmel line.
I wish I had one of those T-shirts. I might even try to get one.
Yeah, that'd be a collector's
It
item.
would. It would. All right. So anyway, we've got another one here.
Okay.
And I don't know. I just think somewhere along the way, this is a little rough for society, and it is 1 hour of being rough, according to Trump. Do we have time for that?
We've got a minute.
Okay, let's play it. Got one.
That the 950 is a misnomer because you can steal whatever you want, you can go way above. But you'd see, originally you saw kids walk in with calculators. They were calculating. They didn't want to go over the $950. They're standing with calculators, adding it up. You know, these are smart,
If they
smart
stole,
people. They're not so stupid.
If they stole under $950, it would be a misdemeanor. If it's
see.
over, it's a felony.
Okay.
Let's go on.
But they have to be taught. Now, if you had one really violent day, like a guy like Mike Kelly, put him in charge, Congressman Kelly, put him in charge for one day. Mike, would you say, he's right here, he's a great congressman. Would you say, Mike, that if you were in charge, you would say, oh, please, don't touch them. Don't touch them. Let them rob your store. All these stores go out of business, right? They don't pay rent. Then the city doesn't have money. It's a chain of events. It's so bad. One rough hour, and I mean real rough, the word will get out, and it will end immediately. End immediately.
Yeah, if you get rough.
You know, it'll end immediately.
That's right. Yeah, if you get rough with these shoplifters, that it'll go away. I think they had the same theory about carrying guns. If you at least carried guns, no one will bother anybody anymore and rob them.
Yeah, how'd
that
work
worked
out?
well.
Yeah. Hey, we're coming back with more on the John and Gordy Show.
The joggers are going by.
92.7 WMDX. We'll get into the vice presidential debate.
As the 21st century began, human evolution was at a turning point, a dumbing down. With no natural predators to thin the herd, it began to simply reward those who reproduced the most and left the intelligent to become an endangered species.
Idiocracy. For the smartest guy in the world, you're pretty dumb sometimes.
We're trying to get smarter guys. But we're not finding them for this particular segment of the show.
Yes.
But there are ways, to know what's going on out there, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But first,
it is 6:35, 49 degrees, a chilly start this morning, high near 70. And this portion of the John and Gordy Show is sponsored by Verlo Mattress of Madison. Sleep better, dream bigger on a handcrafted, locally made mattress. Find them on Madison's east and west sides or online at verlo.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now, if you have a lot of time on your hands, there is a YouTube site called Jubilee. You should check that out if you have a lot of time on your hands.
Now, why do you say that?
Because on this site, they have debates, and they pick one person to debate a whole bunch of people on certain topics. Could be political, could be anything, environmental, medical, whatever. But they always pick one person, and that knowledgeable person sits at a table in the middle of the room.
Okay.
And somebody sits across from them.
So this is not
table.
like the vice presidential debate like we had last night between Walls and JD. This is a different type of debate you're talking about.
And these are young people, usually Gen Zers on this, and they're knowledgeable Gen Zers, even if they're mega. But in this case, I want to play a little sample of this for you from Jubilee. It was called One Liberal Debating 20 Trump Supporters.
Okay. Oh, this will be good.
Yeah. So in order for that person to gain the chair, they have to rush out to the chair.
Really?
The first person out there, it's like, yeah. So anyway, and the person, that wins gets to debate this guy. And this guy comes up with a question for them to answer.
Interesting.
And a lot of times you'll notice that the Trump supporters, the megas, don't really answer the question. They kind of filibuster our poor liberal trying to debate with them. And it's fun to watch. This is a very young guy, 17 years old. His name is Dean Withers. And he's talking to all of these Trump supporters, and he handles himself well, but he can't quite get all those answers out there. So let's check this out.
You being valuable as a human is based, one, in the fact that you are a human, like
this
that
is a mega
you
right
are
here.
part
this
of the human species.
Okay.
But secondly, I would say because you are made in the image of God as well.
Okay.
And so that would be, I think, the basis of why I am pro-life.
Okay, let's have a conversation about this, man. So first of all, I'll just tell you why I'm pro-choice. So I'm pro-choice because I only value life forms that would fall into a specific conjunction of traits. I value any life form that has a conjunction between past or present and future subjective experiences, and it's not until about 20 through 24 weeks that is true of a fetus. Therefore, prior to that point, I'm not going to associate value with the life of that fetus. Second of all, you said that a human was valuable, A, because it's human, and B, it's made in the image of God. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the idea that you value it because it's made in the image of God, and that is what makes you vote for pro-life legislation. I don't think that we should be using faith-based beliefs to vote for legislation.
Why not?
Because when this has been used historically, this has led to very negative outcomes. One individual might say...
that's not true.
One moment. So one person might say that slavery is okay because God said so, and you're saying that abortion is wrong because God said so. So the same logic you're using to imply that that abortion is murder and should be criminalized has also led you to the conclusion that women that use some forms of birth control should be sent to jail. And to say that all human life, regardless of the point of its development, including a unicellular zygote, is just as valuable, that's insane.
But you're putting a barrier on what is a human being.
No.
All right, I just want to make... I want to point out here, I love his description of what or how he values life. When we start valuing life, considering something a person. All right? So let's listen again to this argument.
A human being.
No. that as soon as a fetus gains this ability to deploy these first-person subjective experiences, that they have just as much value as
Okay,
not.
deploy consciousness. So what about if you have someone that is unconscious, that cannot deploy consciousness?
Well, once
Can
again,
we just kill them?
No, because they would still meet the conditions of my conjunction for distributing more value.
What's the
That being
conditions?
past or present consciousness and future consciousness, right?
And that's
past, future. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's scientific. It's well thought out.
Yes.
It's not as easily explained as it probably could be, but it was the best way to explain when we value life and when it isn't really a life yet. And I always thought that because they're unaware of anything that's going on, you really don't have an existence yet. I mean, you're just not there. So that's always been my perspective on it. And I thought this guy, the 17-year-old, said it much better than I could ever say it. And it sounds cold, brutal, but at the same time saying that, women should die because of something that is developing inside them is okay. I think I win that battle.
Very analytical debate there.
It is,
Yeah.
and it's fascinating. He goes through almost all 19 of the other Trump supporters. But one thing I did learn as I was listening to this, and I was thinking, gee, what if Trump won this election? These people, these know-it-alls, these people are so confident in all the BS that they've been believing and that they debated with this guy on, they're all going to be eating their words. We're all going to go down with them, but at least we'll have the last laugh and say, you know what, you were wrong. Gee, you didn't think that was, this is the thing I got from my mega friend in Milwaukee. He'd call me up and tell me these crazy things, right? But the point is that everything he believes is based on a complete fabrication and lie. And I know that when things happen that they don't expect, he calls me up and tries to, placate me a little bit, saying, John, I agree with you on this. I don't know why he's doing this. He tries to make it seem like now we have something to agree with, right?
Yeah.
But he did that during the first 4 years of Trump's presidency. And it's going to be like that again. If Trump wins, he's going to say, he didn't say this. I didn't expect him to do this. That's what's going to happen, and we're going to go right down the dumper, and we're all going to, die in this country.
Wow, that's
and
a
he'll say, I didn't
prediction.
know that was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, surprise.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
So if you have time, that the channel is Jubilee.
Okay.
And you can check it out on YouTube. I subscribe to it only just because I think I'm going to go there every once in a while and see what happens.
Check out the debates.
Yeah,
that are on
yeah.
there.
They had Charlie Kirk on there.
Oh boy,
Crazy lunatic.
he's
Yeah,
he's
he's
out
got
there.
his own school system now.
Good for him.
Which is just stunning. But anyway, he was on there debating a lot of liberals. And they had like 20 or 15 liberals that would challenge him on a whole bunch of things. He lost miserably. By the way, he lost miserably to this guy, Dean Withers, who you just heard.
Okay.
He went up and asked him, took on the question and trashed him.
So did you watch any of the debate last night? The
I
vice
did
president?
watch the
Yeah,
debate
I watched
last night.
most of it.
Yeah.
Kind of dozed off toward the end there. But,
Oh, did you?
well, yeah.
What?
I know.
It
It's
wasn't
up
boring.
late. No, it's
Look,
not. It was a little boring, but
Actually, you're right. It was a little boring. Every time JD would open his mouth, it got really, really boring because he just mixes everything in with a word salad, and your eyes would glaze over after a while.
he's
I mean, what is he
smooth at
saying?
doing it. Yeah, but I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, yeah. Well,
It doesn't make
the
any
thing
sense.
is, actually, he doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So you got the message. For megas, they think he's saying something shockingly brilliant, but it isn't. He's not connecting any dots. He's just throwing stuff out there, and he's avoiding the hard realities of what he's talking about. When they talked about healthcare, he wants to put out there special areas where people who are sick get coverage, but they can't afford the coverage because it's too expensive. But then again, healthcare premiums for everybody else go up because those people are paying for these high risk pools that JD wants to put everybody in. That's their That's their addition to the Affordable Care Act. That's how they want to kind of revise it and change it. But he doesn't want to get into the hard realities because it costs people a hell of a lot of money. All right. So anyway, yeah, JD was just confusing as hell.
Tim Walz
was incredible. He really was. And he tried to be
He was
nice.
a little nervous at first, but then he got into it pretty quickly.
Yeah, he did. And he was a diplomat.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he tried to get along with some of the ideas that JD was trying to spit out and twist into his own, manufactured problem. But I think Walz handled himself extremely well. This is the kind of guy you want as a vice president who gives you that kind of advice.
And he really ended strongly with I saw a short clip this morning, so I didn't see all of it. But toward the end, when they do the wrap up right at the end, he really gave it to Trump on January 6th. He really brought the insurrection up strongly at the end, which was good.
He talked about the insurrection being the worst moment in history.
Yes.
And then JD said, well, Trump did hand over power smoothly.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
later in the month, of course, but that wasn't exactly smooth, and it wasn't like that at all.
No.
And then of course Walz went ballistic. He just could not stand it. He says,
JD Vance,
we're far apart on this one.
Still wouldn't admit that Biden won the election.
Right.
He still would not say that.
Right.
Right, Sam?
Yeah. I was going to say, there's a whole, I forget the name of the bill, but there was a law that got passed in Congress while JD was a senator aimed at easing the transition between presidential administrations because of the roadblocks that Trump put up to stop Biden from coming into office.
And JD voted for it.
I don't know if he voted for it, but he was in the Senate when the bill passed.
I see. Okay. Yeah. Well. We'll have more analysis again on the debate.
But it was really interesting.
It was good.
It was. Yeah. It was an excellent debate. Yeah. And this is the way. And in fact, the news people are saying, well, this is the way the debates used to be.
Right. They did agree on some things.
Right. But they were pleasant to each other.
They were cordial.
And that is something now they're, we wish this would happen more often.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it was okay, when you were just propping up Trump's bad answers. See, that's what they were doing. They were handing legitimacy to everything that Trump was saying by analyzing what he was saying. Actually, it's the meanderings of a mindless individual.
We're getting a bunch of texts in. You can text us at 608-879-8255. And looking at some of the texts about the debate last night.
Yep, Shady Vance demonstrated clearly that he's a slick liar. He is. Gordy said that. That Jubilee clip is awesome. Great job, John. And let me see here. Walz should have pointed out that all of Trump's products, like these shoes, lighters, are made overseas, mostly in China.
How about that $100,000 watch? Or what is it? $100,000 watch?
Yes,
$100,000. Where's that made? I don't know. We haven't checked.
Not Switzerland, probably.
Probably not.
Well, the funny thing about that is, again, we covered this story yesterday. In case you missed it, there is a thought that people will be buying these $100,000 watches in a way that, well, they may not actually receive the watch, but they may get credit from Trump, and then Trump will listen to them. It's kind of a payoff system. It's a bribe system, and Trump is taking money for bribes.
There's another one up there near the top. I can't read that one. All right, it's a little too far away.
From Catherine or from?
Yeah. What?
He defined sentience, the guy who is debating the 20 magas about abortion.
Okay.
What sentience means.
Sentience. Okay.
All right.
And there's a couple others on there.
Well, Doug?
Doug from St. Francis. Did you ever notice how Trump speaks in sets of three to emphasize a point? They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets. It's a variation of the comedy technique. The comedy,
Yeah.
You do things three times. It's part of the comedy routines. Yeah. Some good text coming in. Again, you can text us. 608-879-8255.
Go to the Civic Media app and check it out there. You can call us there or at least text us. We love to hear from you.
Yep. It is 6:49 and 49 chilly degrees. We'll continue with more of the John and Gordy Show, 92.7 WMDX.
WMDX, the John and Gordy Family Show.
It's a beautiful morning, sunshine, high near 70, still cool out there. Temperatures in the mid 40s. At least it's not windy. Yesterday it was so windy. It got up to like 30, 35 miles an hour, 40 miles. I was so worried about my gazebo blowing away out in the back, my little tent gazebo.
Yeah, I thought that would be gone by now. Well, we wouldn't have to talk about it anymore.
It was tied down. Then I get home. It was
tied down well.
I get home yesterday. I come out of the garage. There's a big note on next to where the tent used to be.
That's because you thought the thing would blow away.
Yeah, and the note says, your tent blew into our backyard. We took our sleeping bags and camped out, got chilly, started a fire inside the tent. Now there's a hole in the top. Sorry about that. No worries. Brittany Merlot says no rain in the forecast. They were kidding. It was my
great neighbors.
My next door neighbors, or next to the next door neighbors, Al and Mary Lou. Just to have a little fun with Uncle Gordy, putting notes on my backyard. It didn't blow away. Everything was tied down. Everything was fine. I had
they
it all
just put it back the way it was.
Yeah, sure.
They're just being kind. Good neighbors don't want to complain about their other neighbors.
Right. Hey, let's go to the phones. Mark is on the line with a question or a comment this morning. You can call us at 608-879-8255. Good morning, Mark. What's on your mind?
Yeah, good morning. J.D. Vance just seems so oily. I mean, he just is, a word I read once is unctuous. I mean, he just is just greasy. That it just
unctuous, oily, and greasy. That was a great comedy act in Vegas years ago. Yeah.
And the whole of not certifying, admitting that Donald Trump lost that election, not saying that we have to have elections that are actually counted. Like I've said before, maybe not here, but I mean, unless you can condemn the fake electors, the whole denial of the election, the events of January 6th, you've got no business being in office. For him not to say that he would have done what Mike Pence did is should be disqualifying on the face of it. I mean, that Donald Trump committed probably treason. I mean,
well, I would think yes.
Yeah.
And they're not going to hold him accountable for that. I know, but at least he passed the baton very smoothly, very easily.
Sure.
Before he tried to overturn the election and make all of our votes useless and not count.
Right.
What? Go ahead.
And they didn't have the transition that they usually have between offices, between administrations that usually happen. When Obama left office, they gave the administration, incoming Trump administration, information that it's my understanding that Trump refused to do that at all. So then it took longer for the Biden administration to pick up the ball and run with it, because it was that he didn't think he was not going to leave office. I mean that people had to look at that and say that should be the one qualification right there. He did not accept the results of the election. He won't even know. He'd say, well, if I win, I'll accept it.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just utter and complete nonsense.
Yeah. I guess, people are saying now from last night's debate that the big moment was Walz asking him about January 6th.
Right.
Did Trump win or lose? And that is the one moment you can freeze in time forever. At this point in time, it's time to answer that definitively. Come on. Oh, we're not all idiots here. We're not idiots on the bus like the MAGA contingent. All right. Hey, Mark, thanks a lot for the comments on that.
Thanks, brothers.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just an amazing thing. It really is.
During the break, I was doing a little research. The act that I was talking about before, the Electoral Count Reform and Presidential Transition Improvement Act of 2022, was an amendment to an act passed in the 60s by Congress, basically clarifying that certification of the votes is basically purely ceremonial, so we don't end up with another January 6th situation. And it also removes the president's ability to withhold funding from the next administration that they can use to get their administration set up. So we can't hopefully have another instance of a president trying to stay in office like Trump did.
Yeah. Got another comment here on the text line. JD said Trump peacefully transferred power on January 20th, like we've been talking about. Sure, by skipping the inauguration and running away to Florida like a coward.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what actually happened. Yeah.
Well, I also want to thank Sam for remembering a track from John Kennedy. You brought this to my attention the other day about defining what a liberal is. And I thought this was just an amazing analysis. Why don't we play that?
What do our opponents mean when they apply to us the label liberal? If by liberal they mean, as they want people to believe, someone who is soft in his policies abroad, who is against local government, and who is unconcerned with the taxpayer's dollar, then the record of this party and its members demonstrate that we are not that kind of liberal. But if by a liberal they mean someone who looks ahead and not behind, someone who welcomes new ideas without rigid reactions, someone who cares about the welfare of the people, their health, their housing, their schools, their jobs, their civil rights and their civil liberties, someone who believes that we can break through the stalemate and suspicions that grip us in our policies abroad. If that is what they mean by a liberal, then I'm proud to say that I'm a liberal.
JFK.
Great.
Yeah. That says it all right there.
It really does.
Yeah.
And how could that get lost in time?
I know. Yeah.
And how did you remember that?
I don't remember where I heard it first, but
Yeah.
Must
I
have been in
remembered
history class.
Yeah, probably.
Well, that's great. Yeah. Oh, schools can't teach today.
No.
We have to send them to private schools, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way to do
The
it.
new Charlie Kirk universities and K through 12 schools. That's where they want to go.
Hey, coming up in our 7 o'clock hour, of course, we'll check in with Terry Bell with the big story of the day. Tommy Thompson was on a roll.
Wow.
Boy,
Jeez.
we've got all that. And, of course, Mike McCabe also coming up in our 7 o'clock hour. You're listening to the John and Gordy Show, 92.7 WMDX.
John and Gordy Show. Up in the morning at the crack of dawn. Wind has broken. Now the morning sun is shining like a red rubber ball. Woke up, fell out of bed, dragged a comb across my head. 7 a.m. comes too fast, roll out of the bed to that alarm clock blast. It's a beautiful morning.
92.7 WMDX, the John and Gordy Show on a Wednesday morning, 7:06. Cool temperatures in the mid to upper 40s this morning, getting up to about 70 later on. Plenty of sunshine. And this portion of the John and Gordy Show is sponsored by Verlo Mattress of Madison. Sleep better, dream bigger. On a handcrafted, locally made mattress, find them on Madison's east and west side or online at verlo.com.
Well, maybe we should ask our listeners to provide songs in the last 20 or 30 years where we could pull little cuts out of it, just like we heard, that say something about waking up in the morning
Are these
or
too
going
old
to
for
work.
you, John?
These are, no, I love these. I put them together. but I'm just thinking, newer songs don't relate in that way. I don't remember any.
With a newer song?
Yeah. That are like, wake up, get out of bed. There's just nothing like that anymore.
Yeah, songs
lyrically
have changed. They've evolved into,
just what?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Just,
I know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. We got
looking
Gen
to
Zer
Sam
in
to
there. He knows
help us
everything
out.
about current music. Scene. Go ahead, man.
I'll do my best, John.
Okay,
right.
do some research. All right.
Yeah, you bring that report in, and we'll pass it along.
Hey, Terry Bell is here.
Yeah,
our
big
Civic
story.
Media
Morning, guys.
News director. Good morning, Terry.
How are you?
Well, we're doing all right. What's the big story out there?
The big story today is the escalating situation in the Middle East. Yesterday, Iran launched at least 180 missiles into Israel. It was a series of devastating blows, but it seems like casualties were at a minimum. But Israel vows to retaliate, and you can expect that to happen. And it seems as though, things have just only gotten worse since we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of that Hamas attack on the Israeli Music Festival.
One thing leads to the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is almost a full-out war that's taking place, and if Trump were in power, this wouldn't be happening. So that's
what he says.
There's a different reality that he's dealing with. I'm not sure I like that world, but
and then the White House is saying that we don't want this to become a regional conflict. Well, it already is a regional conflict.
Yeah, there seems to be a little detachment here in relating to what's going on over there. So I don't know.
It's just that we're on our domestic politics here leading up to the election, and we're all focused on that. The Middle East continues to just get bigger and bigger as far as the conflicts go.
Yeah, you definitely run the risk of taking your eye off that ball for sure, with all going on here in politics, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
And Gaza and a Palestinian situation, forgotten almost now that we're moving on to a different situation, different war.
And Israel is vowing to retaliate.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Okay.
And of course, it was a big event yesterday in Waunakee.
Oh, yeah. Well, Donald Trump was in Waunakee. The first time a Republican candidate has campaigned in Dane County since Bob Dole in 1996.
Bob Dole.
So that's goes to show you just how much politics has changed. Republicans have all but ceded Dane County to the Democrats, but a lot of leading Wisconsin Republicans have been urging the Trump campaign to come to Dane County and Milwaukee County. It was also in Milwaukee last night. They know they're not going to win those counties, but they think, maybe they can cut into the margins enough, which in Wisconsin wouldn't take much. The margins here are always small.
Well, a lot of the critics now are saying, is he really appealing to anybody? He has a very doom and gloom message.
Yeah, that's the question. It
Dystopian.
resonates with his base of support, but is it persuading people who haven't made up their minds? Is it getting any new? I mean, he's got. It would seem he has all the votes he's going to get already. I don't know if there are many, the very few people still on the fence. I don't know how many people are being persuaded by the arguments that he's been making in Wisconsin this week.
The dystopian view that he has of everything, even small towns becoming refugee camps.
Yeah, it's not the strategy I would advise, but that's why I don't make the big bucks.
That's why we don't make the big bucks either. All right.
Terry, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Terry Bell, News Director, Civic Media.
Well, let's get into how that all opened yesterday in Waunakee.
Yeah?
Yes.
Tommy Thompson was there.
Tommy Thompson. Wow. We're trying to figure him out.
Everybody loves Tommy.
Yeah, we love Tommy. He took over the UW for a while as president, and he did a great job. You know, he defended the UW from the gerrymandered Republicans at the legislature. They wanted to do certain things, and he stopped them cold.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he took control.
Good for him.
But all of a sudden, now he is super mega, super crazy.
What happened?
Well, he made a specific kind of announcement in the middle of his opening speech to introduce Trump.
Did he?
Yeah. And so why don't we listen to this golden moment? I've left a lot of the pauses in because, you know, you have to have those. So the dramatic pauses are important.
Tommy Thompson.
Here we go. Some music, by the way.
I love you! I love you! I love you! Mr. Chairman! God, I love you! And my two young granddaughters who are here with their MAGA hats on, stand up and be counted. My two young granddaughters. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just got a call. Trump says, get the hell off the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, may the road always rise to meet you. And may the wind always be at your back. And may the sun shine warm upon your forehead. And the rains fall soft upon your field.
Too many drinks.
And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. God love you. God love the Republicans. God love the Donald J. Trump, the next president of the United States. God love Wisconsin. And God love the United States of America. Let's take it back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do it.
Another drink.
What got into him?
Another drink. Round for everyone.
Do you think he may have stopped at Lone Girl? Or?
Yeah, I think, that's where I'm thinking he was hanging out. The lone girl has to watch this guy. There's a great brewery out there, and, when Tommy comes in, look out.
Well, we don't know. Yeah, I mean, maybe he stopped there.
He probably highballs instead, Oh, God.
Good old Elroy's boy, Tommy Thompson.
So he got a message: get off the stage from Donald Trump.
No, it was get the hell off the stage.
Get the hell off the stage. Yeah,
quote him correctly.
Yeah. I'm wondering how he got there. Probably a text, right?
I guess.
And he barely even made it out.
He was just out there for a couple of minutes.
Do you think maybe he wasn't even planned on going out? Who is this guy? What's happening? I'm supposed to walk out on stage, Tommy Thompson's out there shouting. All right. That is, maybe is kind of the entertainment, right?
Maybe.
The stand-up act before.
The warm-up
act.
That's it.
Why don't we get to a song? I thought this was just kind of fun to listen to. These amateurs on TikTok, they play different versions of songs that we know so well, like 9 to 5 from Dolly Parton. Okay? Right?
Sure. Great song.
It's a great song, but at the time, and finally it was put to words, at the time we said, well, what about going to the restroom? When you're working 9 to 5, there are a lot of breaks.
Yeah, you got to do that once in a while.
Yeah, so this guy managed to put out his own version of 9 to 5. Let's listen to that.
Working 9 to 10, then going to the bathroom. Working 10:30 to 11:45, then going to the bathroom. Then right before lunch, we do another bathroom. Then we go to the bathroom right after we get back from lunch. Working 2 to 3, then going to the bathroom. Working 3:30 to 4:30, then doing another bathroom. Then right before we leave, we go to the bathroom. If you question my bathroom breaks, I will see you in court.
Go get Okay.
Well, see, now that's a little more honest.
A lot of going to the bathroom
well,
there.
that-
This guy has a
well, that's
small
what-
bladder.
That's what happens. No, that's what happens all day long
Yeah.
when you're at work.
Ah.
You know, when was the last time we ever spent a whole day at work?
Well,
You can't remember a day
no,
like that. I can't either. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got like 3-4 hour shifts, maybe at the most.
At the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why we stayed in radio.
Sure.
The overarching reason why.
that
Not
it?
because we had a message, not
Wow.
because we could present programs
I
like
didn't
this.
know that.
Yeah.
That's how it happened.
Very little time to work. It's always a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We
We're
heard
getting more. By the way, we got another text here on Tommy Thompson. Is Tommy Thompson going for the job of Budweiser pitchman a la Ed McMahon? Okay.
Sounds like he could be.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We appreciate those texts. 608-879-8255.
By the way, you know, as I was listening to the Tommy Thompson thing, I was thinking, you know, we could probably use that in our intros and outros.
I think so. Yeah.
I think he loves us.
Clip
You know?
that in. You know, I did a TV remote at Tommy Thompson when he was governor.
Oh, yeah?
At the mansion, the governor's mansion, when I was weatherman over Channel 15. This is a long time ago, 1993, 94, somewhere.
Yeah.
And he sent me a really nice plaque, a commemorative plaque, because I was leaving and moving to Indiana. And he you know, it just came out of the blue. It was very nice. I mean, he mentioned my remote there, and I was kind of fooling around in the kitchen, going through the cabinets and stuff. And then he walked up behind me. What are you doing in my kitchen?
That's very
Yeah,
nice.
it was a great little bit.
Yeah.
But he sent me a nice plaque. I still have it.
Well, he was a nice
Commemorative
guy
plaque.
once.
Once. Okay.
I know we have to kind of remind people of that, but
Yeah.
there's a certain kind of sickness, you know. It's like COVID, but it's worse. These
Okay.
people become cult members, and that's unfortunate. You know, Trump actually predicted about last night's debate that it was going to be stacked against J.D. Vance.
Yeah.
Now
that was the prediction.
That was the prediction.
Yeah.
Why don't we listen to that? This is a Kellyanne.
No, we don't have time actually.
What?
But we'll get to it.
Oh.
We'll get to it.
Just 20 seconds.
Well,
all right, no, that's all right.
No, we'll get to it. Coming up, we're going to have Mike McCabe in.
We are, yeah.
He comes in about 15 minutes or so. And also, a whole lot more. We've got, we want to congratulate our grand prize winner. We'll get to that for our Go for the Green and Gold contest that we had. It's all coming up on the John and Gordy Show, 92.7 WMDX.
We're all flannels today. Good morning.
Oh, you got the flannels on, Brittany.
Hey, yeah.
We matched.
Wow, this looks fantastic on camera.
Yeah.
You got to tell people to watch this.
Yes.
For real.
Yeah.
Now, do you like the thick flannel shirts or the thin flannel shirts?
Ooh, depends right now because I'm still adjusting the thick.
Okay, yeah.
What about you guys?
Right. It's pretty chilly.
I like the thick. I don't know if I call it thick. I like the soft interior kind of flannel shirt. They make a smooth, you know, but it's nice on the outside, but not on the inside. I like it both ways, you know, soft on each side.
All right.
You know, it hugs you, it holds you warm.
Please. Okay. So how chilly did it get?
No, stop it.
All right.
Stop.
Well, wait.
We gotta ask her when we're on the
I
air.
want to know where it was really the coldest
You're
in
tipping your hand
Wisconsin
here.
overnight.
Yeah.
I got it.
North, up north somewhere. Okay.
Up north.
No.
Up there? No.
No.
Oh. Ooh. Ooh.
It was pretty cold. It was pretty cold. We had an argument last night at home, and it was pretty cold in that house.
Did you hit the heat?
No,
Did
it
anybody
actually
turn on the heat yet?
I
haven't done
We had
that.
to close the windows. I mean, it just keeps getting colder and colder, and it's, you know, you're wearing sweaters around the house, and that's not happening. I didn't buy a house so I could wear a sweater all day long.
That's true. That's funny.
Okay. I think we're coming up shortly, but Sam's on the phone. I don't know.
I think he forgot that we're going
forgot
back
we're on the air.
We're on.
Are we on? We're on soon. Okay.
Yeah, because you forgot.
10 seconds. All right.
Yeah. WNDX, the John and Gordy Family Show. Those are the Legends from Milwaukee, one of the great legendary bands. And I just, I get into that.
They're
it's
good.
called Lariat.
They're good.
All right.
It is 7:21. It's chilly out there this morning. Temperatures in the 40s around here, mid-40s this morning. But with us now, Brittany Merlot, our civic media meteorologist. It got pretty cold all across the state overnight, or pretty chilly out there.
What happened?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is this
yes.
fall? Is it
It's
fall?
fall,
Really?
y'all.
It's
We've
really
made it.
here for real now. Yeah.
We sure look like it too. We look like a legendary band, the Flannels.
Yeah, look, oh,
We're
there
all
it
wearing-
is, the flannels.
We're all wearing flannel this morning.
Yeah, this is something you really have to check us out on X and Facebook. Yeah,
yeah,
because this is almost confusing.
That's
It's
a
almost
We
like
didn't
test-
call each other, so we
It's
just
a
I
test
know.
pattern.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
this is
a
great
beautiful
stuff.
flannel shirt you have on.
Yeah.
You too. Thank you. So
Yeah.
kind of you. I mean,
Yeah.
we have to be wearing the flannels because those temperatures, right? We reached the freezing mark. 32 degrees was the coldest spot in Black River Falls and Fort McCoy. This morning, they're still sitting there
Oh.
right now. Can you believe it?
No,
Further
that's
south.
incredible. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So why is it so cold in the south as opposed to northern Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Actually, it has to do with the winds. Right now, the winds are calmer down in southern Wisconsin than north. So the winds are kind of mixing the temperatures around, and it doesn't get as cold if you have feistier winds. So because yours are calm and your skies are clear, you're allowed to drop much cooler. So that's why off into Black River Falls, you're feeling much, much colder than up north in the Northwoods, which
Yeah.
is opposite.
Okay. Well,
All right.
that explains it.
We were talking off the air just before we went on about what makes a really good plaid shirt, right?
Well, flannel. What kind of flannel do you
shirt.
like?
What do you? And I was saying that it's got to be soft on the inside and outside. I don't know. Maybe people disagree with me on that, and they just want a thick shirt that looks, like a flannel. But what do you think? What do you like the soft on the inside as well?
I do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the more comfortable it can be, the better. But I'm still trying to adjust. So this one's
Yeah.
a little itchy on the inside, but it's thicker, and it's
Yeah.
just working for me right now.
And Gordy likes the thin.
I like the thin flannel
Yeah.
shirts, but this one's kind of a medium. I like thin to medium flannel shirts. I don't like the really heavy flannel
Mm-hmm.
shirts, unless I use it like a jacket to go outside this time of year.
Yeah.
Then I'll throw it on.
And they have
yeah.
special ones now that have pockets.
Yeah?
They're heavy, they're lined, they're flannel, and they have pockets. Isn't that crazy?
You're talking like coat pockets, like at your side?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I think I've seen
it's
those.
really neat. Yeah, they
That's
have them at Costco. I live there, so
You do.
it's not like I'm promoting them. It's just the place I stay.
Hang out there a lot.
Too much.
So what are we looking at weather-wise for the rest of the week here?
Oh gosh. All right. So we're getting a little slice of warmth today because these winds are out of the south. So we'll get about to 72 degrees, clear skies, beautiful sunshine. It's just going to be windy, especially this afternoon and into the evening. Those gusts could reach about 20, 30 miles per hour again. Those will calm tomorrow. Finally, they'll kick on out of here. We'll hit the low 70s once again. I mean, we've got sunshine in low 70s tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. We spiked to near 80 on Saturday, so a little
Nice.
warmth, right?
Yeah.
And then we crash on Sunday to the upper 60s. So, a little roller
Okay,
coaster.
Sunday we have the Alzheimer's walk here. Sunday morning. So weather looks pretty good for the weekend, huh? Both
Yes.
Saturday and Sunday.
All right.
Yes, it
well, that's
does. I mean, there's the tiniest chance for a little bit of rain on Saturday night as a cold front moves through. That's obviously we're going from those near 80 to the upper 60s, so that's going to move on in, but I don't think it's going to be a washout, if anything at all. We've got just dry air, but that's the only chance of rain Saturday night, so Sunday's good.
And tomorrow, another flannel day, do we think? What do you think? The
I'd
flannel the rest of the
probably-
week? Or?
Yeah, you're probably going to want to rock the flannel till at least Saturday. Then you're going to have to toss it.
Okay.
Well, you're going to want the tank top.
Tank top.
Toss those flannels.
Hey, going from upper 60s to near 80.
I
I'm saying,
know.
you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
thaw out those frozen brats. Get them out of the freezer.
That's it.
Yep. All right.
Very good, Brittany. Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Have a good
You
one.
have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. That's Brittany Merlot, our civic meteorologist. And, yeah, it is chilly out there this morning, so be prepared. We do have the Walk to End Alzheimer's. It happens this Sunday, and we will be there. John and Gordy manning the table, the booth, and we've got some walkers, too. You can go to our Facebook page and sign up, right, Sam?
That's right. I posted the link there yesterday. Donate to the cause. I think we have a goal set of $1,000 to raise.
Yeah, and you can do that. It all begins, they actually open up at 8:30 at Warner Park. 10 a.m., there's an opening ceremony, and then the walk begins at 10:15. You can show up at Warner Park on Sherman Avenue and stop by, say hi, encourage the walkers, and make some donations there, too.
All right.
Very
I'll
good.
do my best to get there.
What-
My roommates are planning a large party the night before.
Well,
Priorities.
huh?
That's right.
Yes.
May not be able to manage to get out of bed.
Come on.
All right. All right. You know, I just
You can tough it out, Sam.
I looked up at the CNN screen up there, and this was really disheartening. God.
What are you talking about?
Well, they had a focus group watching the debate last night, and the focus group voted and said that Vance won the debate.
On the CNN focus group?
Yeah.
Huh.
That
I don't think that
sounds
was the
so
case.
wrong.
I said it
but
before. He's a smooth talker. He can, even if he's spewing nonsense,
Well, that's the thing.
people can perceive that he's
It
winning
truly
the
was
debate.
nonsensical, and it's just and Walls was so compromised. I mean, he just really wanted to have a discussion, and he said, "See, if we talk it out, we can come to an agreement on something." You would think people would think that's a good way to approach it, but instead, according to the CNN focus group, Vance won.
I
My
think
heart's
so.
just my heart is sinking. Please help me work through this.
Well, Walls was a little nervous to begin with, but I thought he got.
That was just like the first question.
Yeah, then he clicked in, and then he had a really strong ending.
No, he had great answers all the way through.
Yes.
I don't know. A great response, a great way to think about things, to include people, to solve problems.
Right.
Vance had a certain specific way of avoiding every answer that he had to at least tell people about it. He just avoided everything. But he won because of that.
Well,
Maybe we're
that's-
just used to it now.
That's one focus group. All right. 7:29 coming up. Mike McCabe right around the corner on the John and Gordy Show. 92.7 WMDX Madison.
Let the sunshine. It's the John and Gordy Show.
If you're not waking up to John and Gordy on 92.7 WMDX, you're missing the third best morning show in the state. And if you're waiting till they're number one, it'll be a while.
Well, that's kind of a backhanded compliment if I ever heard
the
one.
thing is, we have to sleep our way to the top, and it takes a while.
We're older. Hey, we want to send our congratulations out to Kim from Racine. She was the big grand prize winner in the Go for the Green and Gold. Remember that contest we had it the last couple of weeks?
Of course I remember it.
She was the big winner. She won the pair of indoor club level tickets to see Green Bay play New Orleans on Monday, December 23rd in Green Bay. So congratulations to Kim from Racine.
Yeah.
The grand prize winner.
All right.
It's 7:35.
And Mike McCabe is here in the studio. Before we get to you, Mike, just put up with our texts that we get. We ask for them. We plead for them. We beg for them. And when we get them, we're going to read them.
Okay.
And it covers a few areas, topics that we've talked about this morning, about Tommy Thompson's introduction of sorts for Trump, who asked him to get off stage right away. Tommy Thompson was considered extreme when he was governor. Now, in hindsight and comparison to today's MAGA Republicans, he was almost liberal.
That's Doug from Milwaukee.
Yep. And then Mark mentioned.
And by the way, the text was "Get the hell off the stage."
Yeah, get the hell off the stage.
From Trump to
So,
Thompson.
and then Mark mentioned, you mentioned Charlie Kirk and his school system. I believe he is another, like Scotty Wanker Walker, a college dropout. And he did. He attended some colleges, but really didn't last or stay or even take them seriously for that matter. And he also said flannel-lined canvas shirts are nice too. Then there are some flannel-lined jeans, which I can't handle. I would never get.
We're talking flannel.
Can you imagine how hot those would be?
Oh, my God.
Maybe if you're like walking around outside and you don't want to wear snow pants or something in the winter.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
But flannel, you would think would get wet and stay wet for a long time.
You would think.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway.
Well, those are the messages that we got so far. Feel free to hit the Civic Media app, text us, or give us a call. And we have Mike McCabe in the studio.
Morning, Mike. What kind of flannel do you prefer? Thick flannel or thin flannel shirts? We're taking a poll this morning.
Yes.
I think you got to go thick. What's the purpose of flannel unless you're
See?
unless you're getting the full benefit?
Okay. Well, I guess I'm in the minority. I like the thin to medium flannel.
But
So
they're more pliable
and more of a fashion thing, huh?
Sure. That's it. I'm a fashion plate. That's me. That's what they say.
You put so much time into it.
You're right. Okay.
But we're also differentiating between a smooth inside to a flannel shirt as opposed to a nice, fuzzy, warm inside to the flannel shirt.
You might be thinking about this too much.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's move on to something a little more important.
So you watched the debate last night?
I did.
Yeah.
And your thoughts?
And I mentioned that CNN's, their focus group, said that Vance won, and I'm just highly disappointed because I thought Walz just wiped the floor with Vance, but you have a different opinion.
Oh, well, maybe this is an opinion that'll wear out my welcome with this show. I don't know.
No.
And it's too honest for politics, but I thought that Vance clearly won.
Yeah.
And it's not that Walz was bad. He comes across as a very nice guy, very sincere, very likable.
Yeah.
But he allowed Vance to come across the way Vance wanted to come across. Vance was unwilling to answer questions that would have really shined light on how extreme some of his positions are.
Cruel.
He was able to make extreme positions seem reasonable. He came across as sort of a normal guy, and he was able to make cruel and heartless policies seem unconcerning or even kindly. He really was able to dictate how he came across. And I think Walz missed a lot of opportunities to sort of pin him to the wall.
You didn't call him on it.
He didn't call him on it. And the moderators didn't really call him on it either. They asked him some tough questions that he refused to answer. And then they never really pinned him to the wall. So J.D. Vance came across as well as he could have hoped. And I don't know if it does Donald Trump any good. I think it probably did J.D. Vance some good, but I don't know that it helps Donald Trump at all. But yeah, when you are able to sort of dictate the terms of the debate and control it in a way that makes you come out looking good and smelling like a rose, then J.D. Vance, succeeded in his mission.
But when Walz was at least, confronting J.D. Vance and some of his policies, it was more reasonable. It was more balanced. He had actual ideas. They actually, came across with some of the policies that they want to put in place, which would be beneficial to all Americans. And yet J.D. Vance had no way to respond to that. And as you mentioned, he just stuck to his thing.
He did.
And Walz, as you're saying, never made it look extreme. And they should have, you're right, he should have done that. I think the Harris-Walz campaign has been trying to stay away from getting in the weeds and talking about their agenda and how cruel it is. And they just want to, present it as a joyful moment where we can, vote the right people into office. So they're not, they're not emphasizing
You don't have to get in the weeds to say, look, there's only one reason and one reason only why J.D. Vance is even on this stage. It's because he would do something that Mike Pence couldn't bring himself to do. Yeah. He would be willing to deny the outcome of an election and seek to thwart the peaceful transfer of power. And that's the only reason he's even in this debate.
Yeah. Right.
If you just started out with that and let everybody know that this would be Mike Pence debating if Mike Pence hadn't had a conscience on January 6th. And
that's a good point.
And then when J.D. Vance is saying, I wish Kamala Harris would come back to the Trump border policies. You don't have to go in the weeds to simply say, why on earth would we want to go back to Trump's border policies when border crossings are down now?
Yeah.
And you're just creating this fantasy world because this is an issue you think you can scare Americans about. And then to say all these things about how wonderful the Trump economy was, again, you don't have to get in the weeds to simply say Donald Trump is one of 2 American presidents in the history of this country who left office with fewer people employed than when he came into office.
Right, exactly.
America lost jobs under the Trump administration, and only one other American president can that be said about.
And that
would have just neutralized that whole bunch of nonsense that Vance was spewing about how wonderful the Trump economy was.
And I may be wrong on this, but I think he also added the most to the national debt than any other president.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't have to get down in the weeds to just throw out a few little
tidbits like that
that sort of takes his legs out from under him. And so I thought that there were just too many missed opportunities on Walz's part for him to be declared the winner of that debate. And he let Vance portray himself the way Vance wanted to be portrayed.
Right.
And, and contrast that with the way Kamala Harris took apart Donald Trump. Donald Trump can't have wanted to be portrayed the way he came across. And yet Harris very skillfully baited him into answers that put him in that position.
I'd like the networks to rerun that debate. If he doesn't want to have another debate, let's just watch the old one.
Yeah.
Syndicate that. Your latest blog at Substack is called Giving Make Believe a Bad Name. And that has everything to do with this imaginary world that Trump and Vance have created, and you're mentioning it here. We should have called them on it. This is their make-believe world that they're trying to present to us as something that is really wonderful and we should be looking forward to. It's not like that at all.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about your column this time.
Well, when Donald Trump comes out on a national stage and says they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating people's pets.
Mm-hmm.
He slandered a community and told just an outright lie that did real harm to people in that community, that ended up resulting in bomb threats and
they had to escort kids into schools.
Absolutely, and that talk about cruelty, to say something like that is false, and to say it on a national stage and then bring that kind of wrath down on a small town.
Yeah,
that's just unforgivable. So what does J.D. Vance do? He doubles down and says, hey, if I got to make up stories to get you to pay attention to this issue that we're trying to hammer away at, then I'm gonna create stories. And and the people of Springfield, Ohio don't deserve that, and the Haitian population that came here legally, and is very much needed by local businesses, because there was an acute labor shortage. Businesses needed workers. They wanted these Haitian immigrants to come in. They're hard workers. They and the employers are saying that.
Yeah.
There was one employer who said, I could take 30 more.
Yeah.
They're great workers, and I need workers. And to slander them in this way is horrible. And so I wrote about this make-believe world that is being created, and how you have a president, a candidate for president, and his running mate out there deliberately lying to the American people simply to stir up fear and hate in hopes of regaining power.
And not talking about the issues.
Correct.
I mean, it's just all this distraction with all these lies and outrageous statements.
Correct.
The media just draws its spotlight towards all of that instead of actually dealing with the issues.
Yeah. And one of the funny things is that I have a novel coming out, and my first stab at writing fiction. And I actually had a reader of my Substack say to me, kind of challenge me on deciding to write a novel, saying that we've got enough people making up stuff. And it's so frustrating when people can't distinguish between the lies, the make-believe lies that are being peddled out there, and the truth that can be found in meaningful fiction that can help us better understand our world and actually help us progress as a society and become more humane. When you reach a point where you're not distinguishing between that, between the make-believe world on that political stage and what we used to think of as make-believe, which was imagining a better world.
A better world, right.
Then we're in real trouble.
Yeah.
And that's why I titled the piece Giving Make-Believe a Bad Name.
We're talking to Mike McCabe from Substack. I think one of the things that we're kind of being distracted from is that we don't have enough people out there to work at these businesses. And we're not talking about the fact that we need these immigrants to fill these jobs. They're not taking jobs away. They're filling these jobs that are needed, and these employers requested these individuals to come in, the Haitians, and they're here legally, which, by the way, they're described as illegally here.
Yeah.
We need more people in this country, and the immigrants are hardworking. All immigrants that came to this country were a product of that. We're sitting here on the air talking today because our ancestors were immigrants in the U.S. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. And for some reason, we're forgetting our past.
Yeah. And, going back to the debate, that was probably J.D. Vance's weakest moment, when he really dove into the weeds and was trying to explain an incredibly arcane matter of federal policy to justify this idea that they may be legal, but they're really not legal. And
they came here on an app.
But Tim Walz missed that opportunity to say, look, local employers were begging for workers. They had an acute labor shortage, and they want these immigrants. And you're then demonizing.
Yep.
7:49, we're talking with Mike McCabe, and we will continue our discussion on the John and Gordy Show after this on 92.7 WMDX.
92.7 WMDX, the John and Gordy Family Extravaganza.
Sponsored by...
I mixed that up, I guess.
What's it?
I mixed that up.
It's the John and Gordy show.
It is. Okay.
That's what
it
right?
is. Yeah. I
Okay.
lost
You're
track.
John, I'm Gordy.
You know, we never say that enough.
I know. John Peterson, Gordy Young. Sponsored by Verlo Mattress of Madison. Sleep better and dream bigger on a handcrafted, locally made mattress. You can find them on Madison's east and west sides or online at verlo.com. 752. Talking with Mike McCabe here. We were talking about, just the lies that are out there. And on the debate last night, and J.D. Vance, you say, Mike, clearly won the debate. And mainly because Walz didn't hold him accountable for some of the things he was saying.
He never brought up the extremes, or at least highlighted the extremes, which I agree with. But I like his folksy. I like the fact that he had good ideas. I go by ideas. How do you solve problems? That's how I look at it, and that's why I liked Walz's answers.
How many times during the debate did J.D. Vance say Kamala Harris's open border? And when they talked about housing, he circled back to immigration.
Yeah.
Whatever issue got brought up, it was about immigration. And that's where when I said that J.D. Vance should have pounded away at this idea that there was only one reason why J.D. Vance was even on the stage.
Yeah.
He should have started with that. Mm-hmm. He should have come back to that repeatedly. If J.D. Vance is going to talk about Harris's open border over and over and over and over again and circle back to immigration, then you got to, Tim Walz could have circled back to democracy and January 6th over and over again.
Yeah.
And just hammered away at how J.D. Vance was on the stage because he would do what Mike Pence wouldn't do. He made a passing reference to it late in the debate. Mm-hmm. But that's the thing that you say 5 or 6 or 8 times during the debate, and you pound away at that and hammer it home. And I just think that there were, like I said, there were too many missed opportunities. He talked policy, and he certainly came across as folksy and down to earth, which he is. That's exactly who he is.
Right.
But he let J.D. Vance be what J.D. Vance wanted to project, and not the reality of who J.D. Vance is, and particularly who his running mate is.
Well, the tone of what they're talking about is doom and gloom.
Yeah,
it's dystopian, and I have a clip here that I think would give you an example of it. Is cut 12. This is Trump talking about Harris in Wisconsin at one of his rallies. Let's listen to this.
By the way, I'm outraged that she let in the savage who raped and murdered Rachel Morin. Kamala let her in. She murdered him. In my opinion, Kamala murdered him, just like she had a gun in her hand.
Crazy stuff.
Sure is.
And not only that, but that's a female, Rachel Marin, and he said him. He's really not together, not really all there at this point. But again, it's this tone, where we're suggesting, people are shooting at Trump because of the tone the Democrats have. And then we have this absolute extreme vision of his opponent, which is just, is remarkable. That this didn't make huge headlines.
And that was really the point I was trying to make with that Substack post that I made, is that if we allow that kind of darkness to so unnerve us that we are no longer capable of imagination, of imagining a better world, imagining a better place, then we're really in trouble. Mm-hmm. We're really, really seriously in trouble if we allow that dystopian view of America to contaminate our thinking to the extent where we can no longer read a good novel and be moved by it and be transported to a different and better way of thinking. And the thing I've been struck by with the Harris-Walz campaign so far is that it is hopeful. It is openly...
Yeah, it's positive.
It is openly hopeful and joyful even.
Yeah.
And And man, what's being offered on the other side is so dark and so sinister, and it's so obviously intended to simply make people afraid and put people at each other's throats, demonizing some people to anger other people and motivate them to go out and vote, all in a very transparent effort to just gain power. And this is a really critical moment for our country and a very dangerous moment for our country. But man, we have got to be able to think in imaginative ways about what our country's future can look like. And we have to have a forward-looking vision. And for all the efforts to take us backwards and make us hate each other that are out there being peddled, we've got to be able to rise above that.
Well, Trump said after that, this nasty comment about Kamala Harris, he also mentioned that she should be impeached and then arrested. Now, that kind of language, we let it kind of fly by. But then again, if he was president, we have no guardrails on the presidency anymore. Yeah. They can do this as an official act and get away with it and actually arrest Harris later on if they wanted to.
Hey, we are all out of time, unfortunately. Mike McCabe, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next Wednesday. The novel coming out?
Yeah,
soon. Coming out soon, Miracles Along County Q.
All right.
I'm buying one.
Okay.
All right. I am.
Tomorrow we've got Busted Pencils joining us. Tim and Johnny. Also Carrie Beach from the Overture. And Stephanie Miller is next on 92.7 WMDX. Have a great day.
As we were saying, let the sun shine. It's the John and Gordy